with an invocation given by Commissioner Bingham, followed by a pledge of allegiance led by our County Attorney, Steve Hadfield.
Heavenly Father, as we bow our heads before Thee, we're grateful for the blessings of life and opportunity that we enjoy, and for the privilege of living in Box Elder County, and to be able to associate with good people and strive to work together to accomplish good things, to have a vision of the future and what we can do to preserve our freedoms and to be able to live together in peace. Thankful unto Thee for the beautiful weather we're having, for the moisture that we've received and the warmth that will help the crops grow and will help to provide for those who live here. Grateful for the opportunity to meet together and to be able to discuss the issues before the commission today, and pray for Thy Spirit to inspire and direct us so we can accomplish Thy good things under Thy direction today. And we ask for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Stand, face the flag, promise to salute. Repeat after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, need to approve the minutes from March 19th.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from March 19th, 2024.
Second?
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Summers, a second from Commissioner Bingham to approve the minutes from March of 19th of 2024. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Okay. On administrative review, reports, future agenda items, we do need to put Sean Milne on the next agenda to continue to put a couple more people on that advisory board. So, anything else, future agenda items we need to put on there? You aware of? Okay. Any former agenda items we need to deal with? And then, let's see, no emergency management issues, right? At this point, life's good.
River's okay for right now. I've got a meeting tomorrow with the Pacific Corps. We'll be discussing what's happening up in the mid-level snowpack in Idaho and Wyoming. I think around here we're okay. This last storm didn't pack us as much as it did in southern part of the state, so.
Okay, thanks. And nothing on ARPA or LATCF, so we'll go on to, actually, we will back up on the future agenda items. We probably do need to reach out to Cache County Water District that came and got the $15,000 to come and give us a follow-up report on the financial ability of the Bear River. They've completed that report, so we need to go back in the minutes, and I know we gave them some money to help with that report. It had to, I think it was. It was Cache Valley Water District, I believe it
Oh,
was.
wait a minute.
Bear River Watershed Council.
Bear River Watershed Council, okay, there we go. We just need to reach back to them and invite them to come to either one of our meetings probably in either April or May. They have that report done. I actually saw a copy of it at the Great Salt Lake Advisory Council, so we ought to have them come and present a copy to our commission and let us know.
The what?
It had to do with the fiscal, you remember Sean, do you remember the name of that report? Is it?
Yeah, it's the Bear River Economic Feasibility or Impact Study.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bear River Area Economic Impact Study, right?
Yep.
Okay. And it had to do with the water coming out of the Bear Lake and Bear River and on down. It's actually a very interesting report that I think is worth our
If
time.
you get hold of Sean, he can give you the number for the guys, because he's the secretary.
Okay, yep, we need to get that, so. All right, we'll go to public interest presentations. We'll start off here at 5:08 with our chamber, Monica, where is Monica? She's not here. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm looking for you. You snuck in on me. All right, I've
just
seen you
walked
already
in.
today here. So we're gonna start off with Monica Holdaway with a presentation on the new economic dashboard with the chamber.
Are you able to pull up the websites?
So it can be shown up here?
Yeah.
She could if I could get out of the road. They don't let me touch the electronic.
All you
I
gotta-
was like,
yeah,
that's why I was like, I should have called Marlon earlier. I didn't.
Okay, where's my?
Box Elder Chamber.
Yeah, just boxelderchamber.com. While we're waiting for that, I just want to give an update since I was last here in the fall. I have done 62 member visits, 9 non-member visits. So that's
Go up to
70.
economic info and click
Yep,
on that.
economic info. I'm gonna have you like scroll down, or Stan might be able to scroll.
No, I don't.
You don't scroll, okay,
Yeah, me too.
okay. And I met with 2 businesses about the starting a business. So that, we were here in October, so that's what we've done since then. We also did have the business summit, and we had about 100 attendees, and 9 participated with the restaurant Taste of Box Elder, which is always the hit of the day. And Natalie Gochner was our keynote, and people loved her, so it went really well. So that's kind of an update on the contract that we have with the county. This is our new economic dashboard. I received a grant from the American Chamber of Commerce Executives, so association that is made up of people like me. And I received a workforce grant, and this is part of what we've done, is got information available for the businesses and our governments. So if you'll scroll down, this updates every 30 days if there's something to be updated. And yes, I know that is not Brigham City's. Yeah, go ahead and stop. Brigham City's and Tree Mountain's population, it is by zip code. So Brigham City's is Brigham and Perry. Tree Mountain's is Tree Mountain, Elwood, Bothwell, everyone with the 84337. So you can see population and then jobs. And then go ahead and scroll down. This one's the fun one. That one's a forecast of our population. So you can see we all know, but we are definitely on the growing trend of people moving into our area. Okay. This one actually surprised me a little bit. This is our ages in those different areas. I thought we were a little bit older of a population, but actually our 2 largest are 25 to 44 years old. So that's great for us because that's the workforce, people for working. But businesses can use this not only for that, but also what ages to market to. It shows them the different breakdowns of our age groups. Then here we just have our industries characteristics. Of course, manufacturing is number 1. And the one on the second, on the right side, 24% growth in 5 years. So that kind of explains the labor shortage. Is all of our manufacturers are not just being and working, they're growing and have been consistently over the last 5 years. That's about 5% a year.
And I will point out that because we looked at
Oh,
this,
yes.
and I did point out, when they say government on there, that is federal government, state government, county, city, and our school districts. So
Yeah,
people
school
sometimes
district
look
is
at
our
it.
largest
by far.
public employer for sure, with all our teachers. Job postings, 5-year trend. You can see it's been very, very volatile. I asked some of our large partners, I said, what was going on in 2019? You guys it was really low on job postings. And they were like, that was the good old days when people were working and they were happy where they were at and they were just staying. And now we have a lot of jumping and there's always new opportunities. And so there's just a lot of, you can see the job postings trend. And then this next one can be a little bit misleading. It is the last 30 days. So you can see Love's Truck Stop is down 140%, but they still had 10 unique job postings in the last 30 days. So they're still hiring. It's just that last month they had 24 jobs posted. You can see Brigham City, and the ones on the companies, those do change every month. I was with Post Consumer Brands, and they were like, we're not on here. And we were like, you were last month. So it really is, these are off Indeed job listings and stuff. So you can see the different trades. Again, you can see manufacturing went down, but we still had 93 unique job postings in Box Elder County. Employment distribution by size, just showing that we have the majority are definitely our smaller businesses. And then you can see wage ranges that for all the different professions. This one's really interesting. I did go to the school district board and talked a little bit about this. In Box Elder County, 18.5% have a bachelor's degree. And that's something we could definitely work on. We have 27% that started college but may not have finished. But in our job postings, only 23% of our job postings are asking for a bachelor's degree. So that is one thing about our county is even those that are graduating from high school are still able to get good, high-paying, quality jobs here in Box Elder County because of our manufacturers. So it's just an interesting
Does it show
correlation.
certificates? I mean, because honestly.
So I think certificates probably fall under some college.
Okay.
I would need to ask, but I think that's where, because some college is like 27%. So it's a little high. Top hard skills that people are looking for. Again, this changes quite regularly, but forklift, shipping and receiving, none of those surprise us. Home values, the bottom two are Brigham and Tremonton areas. The gray one is Perry. So and this is off Zillow. Yeah, this is, I believe they use Zillow for theirs, but this is the one that Lee and I have talked about in great detail. So if you will hover over the green on the first line for Weber County, the green, that's 3,259 people drive from Weber County to Box Elder County to work. The gray
What we leave.
is who leaves, 5,370. So we have a net loss of people to Weber County out of the red number, the red bar, 2,000 people. So that is an opportunity for our businesses and for people that, if they could work where they live, because that's great, because then the housing, they already have a housing. They already have that.
This is what brought Lakeshore here, was those numbers right there.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get people to work in Box Elder County. The only one we have a positive gain on is Cache County. We have more Cache County residents come to Box Elder than leave Box Elder that goes to Cache, which again doesn't surprise me because of median wage ranges. Between Weber and Davis, there are a couple of anomalies. You have Northrop Grumman that's in all of the areas, and sometimes employees may or may not get to pick which plant they work at. You also have Hillfield, which is really hard to compete with if people are going to Hillfield. But that Salt Lake
Well,
number is just like, wow.
Freaks you out, and even Utah County is
Yeah.
kind of wild. But we also did talk about the fact that some people could be telecommuting to a lot of this.
This wouldn't take into telecommuters. It's taking in where their paychecks are probably coming from or the report is coming from. So, but it's a good opportunity for us to try to, tell people, there's great jobs here. There's going to be more jobs here, and it helps because they already have their house and stuff. So again, this updates every 30 days on our website. It's accessible to anybody. It's on there all the time. So any questions?
Great job. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you. See you next week.
You will.
And then
Yes.
your chamber banquet is the
Yes,
19th.
the chamber banquet is the 19th. Invitations just went out this week. And then we're doing our 2 career fairs at the high schools. On next Tuesday is Bear Rivers, and then the following Tuesdays is Box Elders. And
May 19th, the chamber?
April 19th.
April 19th.
April 19th, and invites just went out this week. And then we,
Up where? Here, just.
We'll fix
and,
this.
okay, they're
Go
doing
ahead.
tech.
Keep go ahead.
And then we have raised enough money that we'll be able to give $5,000 in scholarships at both schools. So we've raised over $10,000 for the career fair scholarship. So we're really excited about that. But
And we're pretty excited about the fact that we've got some agriculture, but we actually are able to provide, our sheriff's department will be able to be at least one of the schools, probably both, to represent law enforcement. And we'll let them also talk about, there's a lot of other jobs in the county that people could apply for, especially those 18 and older, so.
yep, great.
Where's the banquet at and what time?
The fairgrounds,
Okay, what
6
time?
p.m.
6 p.m.
Yep, 6
Yep.
p.m.
Sorry, I'm putting my
April
calendar
19th.
while I'm thinking about it.
Yep, you're fine.
And some great awards going to some great businesses. I know Niagara's our large business of the year. I can't remember all the other ones, but
Yeah.
I did see that, so great.
It will be in the paper too.
Thank you. All right, we'll go to the next item here, the 518 Main Street Co-op is requesting permission. Celeste.
How's it going?
Good.
Do you want to take one and pass them down? You betcha. I apologize. I almost feel like this is a repeat from last month, or like your last meeting with Paul. He, when Paul and I sat down about what historic Main Street is, historic Brigham City is going to maintain, they said they were not going to maintain permits for Third Friday Live and similar events. So that is why I'm here, to pick that up with the Brigham City Main Street Co-op's Main Street program. If on this paper, it kind of breaks down what Third Friday Live is and then what our goal with the Main Street Stroll is, along with what Monica said. We're hoping to get people to have a reason to stay in Brigham City. You live here, stay here. Don't go party down in Ogden. Come support us downtown type of thing, where we have a variety of different trivia nights, scavenger hunts, all on Third Friday Live that rotate through. We have different themes and things like that. But we do know statistically food trucks draw in people. We do always encourage people to stop at local restaurants and things like that, but food trucks draw other people in. And so we're asking if we can use your parking lot during Third Friday
We
Live.
actually gave permission at the last commission meeting.
That's what I thought, and I didn't see that
Yep,
until like
so
an
Yeah.
hour before this meeting that Paul had done that. So
Actually, Dave Walker came in. and did
Dave
it.
Walker, sorry.
Dave Walker
did
came
that.
in with Jenny, and they asked for an art on the main street Memorial Day weekend, and then they asked for your third Friday night. So
Okay.
you've already
So
got
I already got it. They
double
just
action, but it's good for us
Yes.
to have this information so we can
and we of
provide
course
that.
invite all of you to come down to Third Friday Live. It's always every third Friday. I know this month the chamber has our events, but we really do have a fun time. So
Thank
hope
you.
to see you guys down there. and
Garden
supporting
party
it.
this April and
Yes.
night at the circus in May. Okay.
Yes.
So you think we know how to party? Is that what
I
you're
definitely
saying?
know Lee does. I'm pretty sure Stan does. I don't know you, Boyd. I apologize, but I'm sure you can if you hang around with them.
I might come just to watch Lee party.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much.
If I can find a DeLorean, I'll party. Anyway, all right, let's go to our next item, 523, use of the fairgrounds, fee waiver fundraising for roping a benefit. Benjamin Smith.
I'm absolutely terrified of any kind of public speaking, so I have a statement that I wrote.
Okay, so introduce yourself, tell us who you are first,
I'm
and then.
Benjamin Smith.
And
I
you
live
can
in
read
Th-
your statement.
I live
That's-
in Thatcher, Utah.
Okay.
I'm a horse trainer. And I'm here to talk about an event coming up. On April 11th, dozens of cowboys are coming from miles around to support a benefit roping for Tanner Haviland in the Big Door Arena at the fairgrounds. Tanner's a 32-year-old husband, father, and horse trainer. He's a household name in the cowboy and horse community. He's got a reputation for being handy, but more than that, he's known for being one of the kindest, most generous people around. Last month, Tanner had a life-saving kidney and pancreas transplant that was necessary from his lifelong battle with type 1 diabetes. This surgery, be it life-saving and necessary, has been very expensive for the young family, and it will be a long time until he is able to return back to work. We have a lot of support coming from the cowboy community, but we are seeking a little help from the Box Elder County. The cost at the fairgrounds is going to have to be pulled from the entry fees for the benefit, and the cost will be between $400 and $700 to rent the indoor arena, which makes a huge difference for a small family who's struggling. One thing I'll mention about Tanner is that he would give anybody in this room the shirt off of his back if it was the last shirt he had if they need it. And I can't think of anybody more deserving of some support. He is at several events. I mean, if anybody has horses in this room, I can tell you they've heard of Tanner Haviland in one way or another.
Yeah, he just broke one for me.
Did he? You see? And
Ian-
so
Ian-
you know there's probably nobody in this world more deserving
Yeah.
of help at this time. So that's what I'm here to ask.
And Tanner wouldn't be here. Tanner wouldn't be here asking.
Absolutely not.
So this is for April 11th, correct?
This is for April 11th. It's on a Thursday.
So here's the problem. I can't be there. What can I do to help?
Make a motion.
I'm
You guys can
I'm
wait.
looking for
you
a
can
motion
waive-
here.
You can
I
waive
make a
the
motion
fee
that
for
we
the
would-
arena.
I make
There
a
you go.
motion that we waive the fee for this fundraiser for,
Okay, so I have a motion.
I'll second that.
I have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second from Commissioner Summers that we waive the fee for the use of the fairgrounds indoor arena for this fundraiser event, fundraiser roping benefit for Tanner Haviland. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. motion
What time does it
Thank you
start?
very much. It starts, I think, at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So it should start early in the day and hopefully not go too late. So we
Does it
can-
help to get the public's attention to it? I mean, you want public out there? But that-
You know, we've actually got a lot of people. We're already full on teams. We have several people who are showing up, auctioning off certain things. For example, I'm auctioning 30 days on a horse. I know a couple guys are doing the same thing. So there's a lot of support already being shown, but even
If
this
you wanted to pass on your information, give the information to Chrissy here, or well, Joan, Joan over here, right here back behind you. If you give it to
On
Joan,
social media.
Jan, and I'll make sure that it gets.
yeah, we can put it out on our webpage for the
That'd be
county,
great.
just saying this is what's going on the 11th,
That
so
would
people
be
know what's
great. That'd
happening.
cool.
So this will take up for the Taylor Swift thing that happened on April 1st, so that's good. So, anyway,
So are you
you. Go.
taking donations? I mean, are you?
Yeah, there is a page on Facebook. It's Tanner Haviland Benefit.
Sorry, I don't do Facebook.
Well, that's and it's kind of got the information on there. That's what's tough is I don't know the other outlets they're doing because
we'll get it through we'll get it through Jan and get it back to you.
Okay.
okay, I'll give that information
Okay.
to Jen. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Hey, thanks for doing that.
I
That's
appreciate it.
Very good.
Nope, thank you guys.
For those who don't know, on April 1st, it was announced that Taylor Swift was coming to our county fair this year. And if you don't know, April 1st, it was an April Fool's joke. So if anybody really thinks Taylor Swift's coming to the Boxer County Fair, I hate to break it to you, but I think we might get her boyfriend, but we're not going to probably have her. So anyway, he might come watch the rodeo. All right, let's go to the next item on the agenda. We've got our auditor's office fraud risk assessment.
Charlene Larson, County Auditor. This is an annual assessment we have to do on the county based on guidelines from the State Auditor's Office. We maxed out on everything but 2 categories. We need to get an ethical behavior statement in. I would like to institute that with our conflict of interest statement we do annually, so I've talked to the attorney and HR about that. And then the other one is forming an audit committee, which we talked about last year, and the year's gone by really quick, and I never got that going, so it's a goal for this year. But we're still in a very low-risk category, even with those 2 exceptions. So I just need a signature by the commission chair on my document to be able to post with our auditors.
And you might as well get the ethics one, because I know that we're all serve on committees that we sign that, one of those ethics forms for several committees we're on, so.
Yeah.
Right, so we just need to add up for all county employees.
So do we just need to sign it, or do we need to make a motion?
You need to sign. I don't think you really have to make a motion other than I've presented it to you so you're aware.
Okay.
And then if I can get that copy, Marla, after, so that I can post it on websites. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Next item on the agenda is scheduling changes to the meeting that would be on May 1st, which is our first meeting. We'll all be at the Utah Association of County Management meeting, so we need to adjust our May meetings. So the options that I've looked at, we could go May 8th and May 22nd. If we do that because of Bragg, we would have to do our May 8th meeting during the day, the 11:45 meeting, and then May 22nd would be our evening meeting, 4:45. Or we could do the May 15th and still have it as the daytime meeting, which is the 11:45, and have our second meeting on May 29th at 4:45. But then that would put, we'd immediately have our next meeting a week later in June. So I throw the dates out there. We just will not be here on May 1st, so we need to decide which 2 days in May we want to hold our commission meeting.
I actually think the 15th and the 29th would probably be the best, and then we'll just have to take a look at the 1st of June to see if there's enough to have a meeting.
Okay?
Because if we mess up with times, half the people are gonna show up at the wrong times, because we're used to it. I'm gonna probably be one of them that will mess up with the time, so,
Yeah, I'm good with anything.
So you will make a motion we'll change it to,
yeah, I'll make a motion that we change our May meetings from the 15th to the 29th, and with the 15th being at, the PM and the 29th being in the AM.
okay?
Second?
We have a motion to change our meetings from Commissioner Summers, seconded by Commissioner Bingham, to change our meetings from May 15th, it'll be the evening meeting, and May 29th will be the daytime meeting. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll have that. It's changed for May. All right, and then, let's see, Community Development, Quarter Preservation, Scott Lyons.
We were wondering if you were gonna show up today.
We're here.
Here's a letter for you.
You got me some mail?
Yeah, we all got some mail, and basically the mail we're providing to you, Scott, is just some information on the possibility, and probably leaves it to your office to look at this and help us maybe draft some policy. Came from the Division of Water Resources, dealing with landscape incentive programs, so you can kind of guide us on that, so.
This may play into our second item today.
Okay,
So the first item I've got is the Corridor Preservation Fund. Our office labels this as CPF 23-01 as the application. This came from Perry City for the 1200 South project. So it would go from 450 West to Highway 89. 450 West is where like Hunan Village and the new America First building is, and the new public safety
Public
building
safety
is.
building.
So yeah, it'd work its way, basically extend where that is just a 90-degree turn east to the Highway 89. So in April 10th of 2023, the County Commission approved the funding for this, and just prior to that meeting is when the COG approved funding for this. Funding awarded was $1,786,000 or $87,000.
$1,773,804.
Yeah, so they came in about $13,000 under budget on the project. So Anyway, the amount being requested, they've provided all appropriate paperwork for the reimbursement. Having completed the project, they're requesting reimbursement of $1,773,804.50
So they've completed the project of the roadway
for
going up to?
the acquisition.
Oh, the acquisitions for the
Correct.
properties, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So,
I'd make a motion, we accept the reimbursement or approve the reimbursement CPF 23-01, 1200 South in Perry.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Summers, a second from Commissioner Bingham to approve the Corridor Preservation Fund Perry City reimbursement, CPF 2301. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Go ahead on the second one here.
all right, second item I have is the County Water Master Plan kickoff meeting. So as you're aware, the county is working on a water master plan. We have been working closely with the Water Conservancy District as well as water providers throughout the county. We've been in contact with basically every culinary water provider, irrigation water provider. We've even reached out down to the ditch company level in an effort to get them their participation in this meeting. We know that the more stakeholders we have participating, the better end product we're going to have. So there are a variety of things that play into this project. One of those, maybe the main one, is in 2023. So as you're aware, we completed our general plan in 2022. It was adopted. In 2023, the legislature came along and said, your general plan has to have an element that ties water to land use. And so, and they said you have to have that completed and adopted into your general plan by December 2025. So that is probably the main reason that we started this water master plan process, is so that we can get that element addressed and get it into our general plan. And at the same time, I'm kind of all over the place here, but the way the plan's gonna work is the goal is to provide kind of a regional blueprint and look at regionally the entire county. We're having pressure from outside the county, as you're aware, with Great Salt Lake issues. So we're looking at kind of this county-wide cooperation, alliance, but as part of that, work as a county to ensure that our water resources are protected. The plan will have an even more granular focus. The county's been split up into 7 regions, and those 7 regions will, in the end, have their own plan. And so what that allows us to do is focus regionally on areas that may be able to coordinate. You know, like, for example, the Willard region has Perry and Willard and South Willard all in that area. And what that also allows them to do is the cities within those regions are subject to the same legislation that the county is subject to as far as implementing water and land use into their general plans. So then those cities can take this plan, and if they want to adopt their regional plan into their general plan, then they will fulfill that legislative requirement. But it also, if they want to just take it and modify it, if Perry feels like, okay, we do have some differences from Willard, let's modify this slightly and then adopt it in. But overall, the goal is to look at, the county's water resources countywide, both culinary and non-culinary, I guess we'll call it, because
Secondary.
it's more than just for irrigation. It's for stock. It's for industry. So different things like that, and to coordinate that and to basically look to the future. And so one of those things, like this letter that you just provided me, we'll be looking into best management practices of those water resources once we have a better grasp of what they are countywide. And some of those best management practices will give us an idea of what sort of ordinance we could adopt at least at the county level, to address some of these conservation incentives.
Will
So-
you make sure when we're talking about this plan that the Watershed Council, that Sean's the secretary, that there's some sort of a QR code that if people want to know more about the area, that they can actually go to this Watershed Council, because it sounds like you guys have separated it, just like the state has done, into 5 or 6 different areas inside the county. And then the other thing that I would want to make sure that somebody's aware of is that the water rights that we do have, that we haven't developed yet, I want to make sure that that is always on the table at the forefront until somebody thinks that they're going to come take that water right from us, and make sure that we know that we can continually have that on the forefront, so somebody doesn't think that just because they're not using it, they're going to take it from us. So
Yeah, and that's our goal, is to show specifically that.
Okay.
So, I guess I should say, so coming back to the beginning, this kickoff meeting is April 11th at the USU building at 7 p.m. And the format will be, we'll have like a 10 to 15 minute presentation at the beginning. And then for the remainder of the hour and a half, we'll have, basically it'll just be like an open house. People can come and go, grab an Aggie ice cream. We'll have tables set up for each of these 7 regions. You can go to, whatever regions you may have a stake in or an interest in, and give us feedback regarding water in each of those areas. We'll have a couple different, I don't know if games are the right thing to call them, but ways to find out what people's priorities are with regard to water throughout the county. Different people have different priorities. We have conflicting priorities regarding preservation of agriculture versus development, and the need for development in the county for housing for folks and their kids.
Is the state water engineer going to show up to this one?
That's a good question.
Thanks.
They'll be invited.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll
But anyone in the public's invited to this.
Yes, everyone's invited. We've been going around to all the different cities, city council meetings, and making it known at each of those meetings. We've been going to private water companies' board meetings and making it known at those meetings, and hopefully trying to get as much advertisement as we can. Luckily, the News Journal helped us out, and they put it on the front page last week.
I was just concerned the last time we had a meeting with the state water engineer, she didn't know a lot.
Yeah, that was an interesting
We asked a
meeting.
lot of in-depth questions, and she was supposed to come back, and I haven't heard. Have you heard anything, Boyd, from?
Yeah, last February down at Utah State.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've had, I've been in a few meetings with her since, and she's answered a lot of those questions, but
cool.
And to some extent, this is a response to that.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's, let's get all of our ducks in a row so that we, have a solid plan,
Okay.
so.
Thanks,
Okay,
Scott.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. We'll go on to our next item, approval of a new board member from the weed board. So Steve Jepson, if you want to come up, Wyatt, and introduce Steve for us.
Wyatt Freeze, Box Elder County Weed Department Supervisor.
You want to just tell us who you are?
Steve Jepson.
Okay. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Yeah, so at this, our first quarter weed board meeting, we had a board member, Brett Selman, whose term expired, and the board decided to let him move on, and they voted Steve to bring to you guys as a recommendation for Brett's replacement.
Okay. Any questions?
yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, Steve.
I own a lot of weeds.
You own a lot of weeds? You're really good at pulling weeds or getting rid of weeds? Is that what you're telling us?
We have something in common.
So I run a farm up in Manaway area. I taught school for like 38 years.
That's what I was just
Now I'm a
gonna say.
full-time farmer trying to make it work. And I think I'm probably here because I worked quite a bit with Mark when he was there on weed problems in Manaway. We kind of worked together, and He told me Manaway's the weed capital of Box Elder County.
Oh, no.
We're not gonna tell them.
I think that's promissory.
Yeah, you come highly recommended. I know, I was in that meeting, so.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, back to the commission for action.
I'll make a motion that we approve Steve Jepson to be on the county weed board.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second from Commissioner Summers to approve Steve Jepson for the county weed board. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks for your,
Thank
thanks
you.
for your service.
How long?
4 years.
4-year term? Okay, thanks. All right, Sheriff, is it gonna be you or Cade? Cade, all right, come on up, Cade. We'll, amended Forest Service Agreement.
Kate Palmer, Chief Deputy Sheriff. We have a Forest Service agreement. We actually signed it about a month ago, but they made us sign the agreement before the government voted to fund themselves. Now they've done that, and so I guess we're going to take a little piece of the nation's debt and pay to
Protect it.
protect their federal grounds. So initially we signed that it was $3,000. Typically every year it's $6,000. So they've funded that additional $3,000. So not a lot of money, but it reimburses us for our patrols up in the Cache and Sawtooth Forest Service. So I just need a signature from the commission chair.
Okay. Do we need to, we make a motion to?
I'll make a motion,
approve the
we accept the amended Forest Service Agreement 24-14.
Second.
Have a motion from Commissioner Summers, a second from Commissioner Bingham to approve amended Forest Service Agreement 2414. All in favor?
Aye. So now it's up to 12? Is that what you're?
No, it's total of $6,000. They only gave us $3,000 for the last contract and now an additional $3,000. So yeah, it's $6,000.
Never mind.
Something's better than nothing.
No, I'm gonna just bite my tongue on that
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
And Commissioner Perry, can you date that too?
What's that?
You date it too?
Date it this time, yeah, so they don't throw it back at us? Correct. Yes, we will make sure we date it this time.
I don't ever date stuff. Mom always has to date my stuff.
If you take that copy, I'll take this. I'll have him sign another one for me.
Yeah, she just needs to make sure we have a copy.
As long as it's one you sent over to Tammy, we're good.
Okay, thanks, good.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is going to be our treasurer's office. It's back taxes owed by Bonneville Quarry, Tristina Bowen and Bound. Bound is here. We also have our treasurer here, Sean, and I believe our county attorney has some information on this. So do you have anything further, anything that you haven't already presented to us that you wanted to share with us today?
Yeah, I'm Tristina Bound with Bonneville Quarries. One thing that I did find out that I was able to pull up that I hadn't been able to pull up for quite a while because we weren't able to get a, I don't know, an account or whatever. So the taxes due are around $38,000 and the interest is at $46,000. So we weren't aware of all this. We've been paying, regularly for 2 years, which amounts to about $14,400 or whatever, and it hasn't budged. It hasn't moved. I was on the phone with my son, and I apologize again that he's not able to be here. My husband is in cancer treatment, and so he's trying to run the show by himself. We're just a little ma and pa, business or whatever. It's not like we make millions or anything like that. We don't. But anyways, I was on the phone with him and he was wondering if we could just increase the payments to $1,000 and just pay strictly the principal and get this thing paid off as quick as possible so we can be out of your hair and be done with it.
Okay. Well, we pulled some numbers and found some things. So I don't know, you want to tell us what you found, or maybe we can have, do you want Sean to come up and talk about it?
Sean can chime in too. I reached out to Sean.
Sean, if you want to come up here as well, we'll have you, so we understand. So our, from our treasurer and our county attorney, we've had them looking at it since the last meeting, and we want to give what we've found as a county on this matter, so.
So it appears that the understanding was the county commission did grant a 1-year freeze on the interest.
Okay.
It was just a 1-year freeze. And the way the treasurer's office handled that was to credit all payments as of the date of that freeze, so no interest accrued in the meantime. And actually, they ended up crediting one too many payments to the benefit of the taxpayer. And so it has been applied, what was agreed upon. Am I getting that right, Sean?
That's correct.
So my understanding is there was an agreement, county did its part, and that's where we're at now.
Okay. John, do you want to kind of tell us where we're at from your office's perspective?
Sure. Ms. Bowden is correct that the bulk of this is penalties and interest. We've got taxes owing back to 2005. When did you guys take ownership of the quarry?
We've owned it the whole time.
Since 2000?
But my son has been, running the business since my husband has been in cancer treatment. So, and I don't know, let me see, I don't know when he started running it, it's past 2005 for sure.
Okay, and this, remind me on the date, I know you sent us the date, was it when the previous commission granted that, was it 2017?
I believe so.
I believe that's when I
March
remember.
15, 2017.
2017 is when they granted that 1-year freeze, okay.
Yeah, and we did freeze the penalties and interest for that
Okay.
following year. Payments were applied correctly. It's a lot of money.
Right,
And there's an auto pay right now that's being deducted out of our business account for 600.
Yeah.
currently?
It's on auto pay, and we're willing to increase it to 1,000 if we can just strictly pay the principal on this, which is 38,000.
That sound right?
So, yeah, let me take a look here.
You know, it would be good for us to know kind of where we're at, principal versus interest, but,
I had no idea where we were at because we were never able to make an account. Finally, we were able to make an account and be able to get into this thing and see where we're at, what we're doing.
Yeah, as of the 1st of this month, the taxes owing were $38,881.47. The total owing is $86,626.32. So you can see the the majority of that, we'll say, is penalty and interest.
right.
Then for clarification, Sean, this is his personal property taxes or is it real property taxes?
This is a centrally assessed tax. It's kind of, the value is arrived at by the state property tax division. And then they just give us those values. But I think a lot of that value is based on how much product is coming out of the quarry. And they send you a questionnaire every year to ask you what's going on with the quarry, if it's being used and whatnot. So it's not really a personal or a real property tax because they don't own the ground. The government does. So,
So
yeah,
what
it's neither.
are they paying taxes on? It's the product that they're, because they've got a kind of a mining lease, it's the product they're getting out. and
It's
what they're
almost like a
making on that.
mineral lease type, but it's actual for gravel products. It's separate than the mineral
Yeah,
lease.
non-metalliferous mining.
Right.
Okay. As our treasurer, do you have any guidance or direction for us as a commission on this issue?
Just that it would be a hard thing for a small business to come up with that much money going that far back. They are paid up for most of the current years. I know
Okay.
that there's a payment that's being processed right now, and after that is processed, there's only gonna be like about $1,500 that's owing since the year 2015. So the current stuff is mostly paid. Is the stuff that's really hurting is the stuff from back in 2005 through 2012.
But if they were to say they're willing to go to $1,000 to get that principal paid off, to get them caught up and get them fully,
So
You'd have to freeze the penalties and interests up until that
I
time.
think what's being proposed is not a freeze of the penalties and interest, but a waive of the penalties and interest.
that's what
Is
they
that
would
right?
like, is a waive of the penalties and interest and have them pay the
So-
principal off.
Yeah,
Sean, how are those credited when they come in? How do the payments get, what gets paid first?
most current year first.
And then when does interest and penalties, is it most current year interest and penalties and everything?
Penalties and interest are paid first before the tax
Before the
itself.
principal goes.
Okay.
So the principal just keeps going, staying there.
That's why we're not getting anywhere. It's like we're
Yeah.
paying, and I just don't see it moving. We paid
Right.
3,400 in the last 2 years. It hasn't budged. So there is your interest right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, since they started, if we take all their payments into account, they paid $21,300 since 2016, I believe. Well, I think that's when they actually made their agreement. They paid $21,300 since then. So back in 2017, actually. So there have been payments coming in on a regular basis. I believe she's proposing that the penalties and interest be waived, so there would be that $38,000 owing, plus there would be more this fall, of course, a couple thousand more. But it would obviously take, at $1,000 a month, that would probably take, between 3 and 4 years to pay that off. About 4 years after.
I mean, if we have more, we can certainly send more, you know?
So Sean, I don't really understand this centrally assessed. I understand the principle. Is there any liability to the county if it's not current? Does the county have to pay the state, anything like that, or?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Do you have anybody else in the same boat in the county when it comes to
There
gravel?
are other centrally assessed,
I know there's other central, I've been, like anybody else that's been in this position, like that would come back and say.
not quite back this far.
Okay.
The county has the option of seizing equipment when
Right.
it goes delinquent. We have not exercised that option.
It's ancient, you can go get it if you want it.
No,
But you gotta fix it, right? That's how mine is.
I'm just looking and seeing what else, if somebody comes back in and says you did it for this company, you gotta do it for this company, and you gotta do it for that company.
Yeah,
And I
we
think that's why we froze it for a year, because I was here at that time.
We report to the state every year, all the centrally assessed taxpayers that are delinquent. And there's not a lot of centrally assessed taxpayers, but there was about maybe a dozen that went delinquent last year.
Okay,
There are 3 or 4 that are 5 years delinquent, say.
So
This
then my
one's-
question to Steve is that we can encumber another commission, kind of like some of the things we do. So I think that's the reason we went with a year. So do you have to do this year by year, depending on what commission? Because this commission can't encumber another commission to actually waive those type of.
Tell me if you think, if you understand differently, Sean, but my understanding is you have the authority to waive taxes as well as penalties and interest.
Yes.
That's not encumbering another, you just waive what you
Well,
made.
except for, we're gonna make them, let them pay it for the next 4 years to make it up, so that is encumbering. So we can waive that,
Right.
but then also we give them a payment plan for the next 4 years, and so that's encumbering
I don't think
another.
there's an issue with that.
You think you're okay with that? Okay. If you're okay with that, I'm okay with that.
And you're okay with that, Sean?
I'll do whatever the commission directs.
But you're the guru, that's why I've asked you a question.
okay.
I don't have any problem applying, the guidance given by the commission. But I would not really be in favor of putting these guys out of business.
Okay.
That's what I was
That's,
saying.
and that's why we're thinking maybe if we waive the penalties and interest at this point, and then we're to get that principal paid, have them work on getting that principal paid down, they're gonna see some more. I guess the question would be is, do we waive it? I mean, what happens after a year? Is it gonna come back, there's gonna be more penalties and?
Well, I can go in there right now and waive all the penalties and interest, and they'll start accruing again tomorrow. So
Right.
I would just need specific guidance on the commission if they.
How to handle that part?
To make it go towards the principal instead of penalties and interest.
So you said that they're current to like 2015?
I think that they will be, they've got one payment that's pending right now, that's, an auto payment like she mentioned. So before we post those payments, we wait till we actually have the money. And after that one's made, they'll only owe about $1,500 to $1,600 that will get them clear back to 2015.
So if we made a motion to waive the penalty and the fees up to 2015?
There are no penalties and interest from 2015 on.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So-
So we're talking about that earlier.
Your wage from 2005 to 2015.
It would have to be from
That's where
2005
the
to
penalty fees
2015.
are on there.
They will be paid. You also have the option of waiving some taxes back in those early years. I'm not recommending that, I'm just saying that's an option.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to the commission for any action that you wanna take, or where you wanna go with this?
I think that we ought to waive the penalty and the interest up to 2015. And you're current, right? After
They're current as
2015.
of 2015, so everything between 2005 and 2004, through 2014 are owing and accruing interest.
Right.
So I make a motion that we waive the penalty and the interest owed up to 2015. And accept the recommendation of the owner to up their payment to $1,000 a month on principal and taxes going forward.
So there would be no additional penalties and interest on those,
Earlier
interest
years.
on those early years.
Right.
Okay, that's a motion,
That's a motion, yep.
okay?
I'll second that
I have
motion.
a second. Just going to clarify with the county attorney that,
Just wanted to make sure it was contingent upon the receipt of the $1,000, and I think that's what you said.
Yeah.
okay,
So if at any time that $1,000 is not paid in a month, how would you like the
that's the
treasurer's
question we need
office
to
to handle
decide. So
that?
they're willing to go to $1,000, and you've made a motion to have them go to that. If they were not to make that, is that going to revert back to the
So
penalty?
should we amend the motions saying as long as the $1,000 payment is made on time?
Okay,
And if not, then we revert back to penalties and interest?
Okay,
so we have an amended motion.
yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion that's amended to say that we'll waive the penalties and interest that have been accrued up till 2015, as long as they're willing to go to the $1,000 auto pay to pay off the principal. Is that, and if that was to ever drop, then we would revert back to putting penalties and fees back on, correct?
Right.
Okay. and we have a
I'll second that amended motion.
I have a sec, so we have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second from Commissioner Summers. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. They'll work with you, make sure that takes
Thank
care
you.
of it. And if you'll keep us
Good luck.
informed on that, Sean, just to make sure if there's anything comes up. Okay. Let's go to, let's see, our tourism office. No, let's see, I missed one, sorry. Got a human resources, update on policy number 6, grievance from Jenica. I was writing too many numbers down trying to keep track of stuff and wrote right over the top of your
That's fine.
policy, so.
So it was brought to our attention that our grievance policy does not include a retaliation clause, so that's what I'm proposing today, is that we add one sentence that says that retaliation should not be accepted or tolerated.
Okay. Any discussion?
No.
Can we add a motion?
Make a motion, we update to policy 6 for grievance.
Second.
Okay, have a motion from Commissioner Summers, a second from Commissioner Bingham to update policy number 6, the grievance policy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. All right, now tourism. She brought the big guns, huh?
It's his presentation.
Oh, it's his presentation. Your name's on there, but he gets to present. Okay. Well, you can introduce yourself and, you know, and share what that, give us the whole big presentation.
Well, I am Matt Hansen from the Tourism Board, from the TAB Board. I'm here to present our annual findings, which you should have received and had a packet there. With Joan Hammer here, would just like to mention Stan Summers that sits on the board with us, along with Monica Holdaway from the Chamber of Commerce. This year, the Tourism Board, we had $250,000 in total requests for grants, with only $180,000 to spend. That money comes from a 20% tax on total hotel and restaurant revenue collected. And that goes towards this grant program. So again, we've presented to you what we proposed as a board, and are just coming for your approval on that selection.
Okay. Do we have any action or discussion on this?
Nope, I've reviewed it. I'll make a motion that we approve the recommendations by the Tourism Board for the distribution of $179,800.
Okay, have a motion?
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second from Commissioner Summers. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I noticed there's no cars on there, so. Thank you. Okay.
I was gonna say that would almost buy 2 pickups.
All right, let's go to our attorney's office. Cheryl?
I feel like I was just here.
That's was gonna say, yeah, we're gonna make you regular here.
Yeah, I know. It's normally twice a year, so I'm lucky to come back. If you remember from the last time I was here, I talked a little bit about how the state was requiring us to do on-call for on-scene response, things like that. We wouldn't be getting called out for domestic violence or sexual assault cases. Those are still going to be handled by New Hope. So we're expecting calls from what I'm getting from our chiefs is it's going to be more like death notifications when it's like due to a death that's been violent or unexpected or sudden, things like that. And there could be other unforeseen situations that we don't know yet that we may get called out on. So it's hard to know exactly how often we'll be getting called out, but as you know, we keep records. So I'll be keeping that data. But so I'm here to ask for your approval for on-call pay for the victim advocates. And I've talked with Jenica, and there is a plan that the county already uses outside of the sheriff's department for on-call, where that plan is to pay $64 a pay period for each victim advocate, as long as we keep the hours spread among the three of us, which I believe we can do that equally. So at $64 a pay period for 3 victim advocates for the rest of the year, it's 18 more pay periods according to Jenica. And Jenica, you can step in anytime if I get anything wrong.
She's giving you a thumbs up. She says, keep going.
So 18 more pay periods left. So that overall amount would be $3,456 that we would need to have approved
So you tell me that the state tells you that you have to do this and they're not funding it?
all the time. Now, I do have
I have a
grant.
phrase for that, but this might not be the appropriate place to say it.
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, right. I am going to the grant gets renewed on a different fiscal year than the county, so ours would be starting again in July. And I'm actually going to be rewriting the grant for this next year. So I may be able to rearrange. They're pretty particular that I'm not going to be able to ask for any more than what we've got, but I may be able to look at my budgets and where they're at to see if I can put more towards the on-call.
And you kind of feel like you're on thin ice and you don't dare say, hey, what the heck?
Yeah. There's been such a reduction in the grants that we've been able to get. And so for the last few years, I have not been able to ask for any more than what I got the previous year. And that's what I'm being told again this year, is whatever we got this last year is what we're going to get next year. And so I'm going to be looking at all of my budget lines and see where I can cut from one and maybe add to the other. So
Would you like me to forward you Scott Sandel and Tom Peterson's phone number?
Sure.
And Matt,
Anytime.
and Matt Gwen.
Matt Gwen, yeah.
So, but that's what we're asking is the $3,456 to cover the on-call pay. And the next time I come and report to you guys, I can let you know more about how that's going and what the numbers are looking like.
So I'm not questioning the good that you do. You know that, right?
I know,
You
I know.
Yeah. You just
We're
sometimes
sorry you have
struggle
to
to.
come beg. That's the problem. You shouldn't have to beg to be able to continue to be in business. Sorry.
So I'm going to bring it back to the commission for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the request for on-call pay for the county victim advocates.
Second.
A motion from Commissioner Bingham, a second from Commissioner Summers to allow for on-call pay for the county victims advocates. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
And I really wasn't harassing you. I just.
No, I totally understand. It's all good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We've got one more thing here before we go to our municipal building authority, but we've got our public comment section here. Do you have any over there? Marla? Okay, so the public comment portion here, we have, just again, our rules, making those wishing to make public comments need to sign the comment roll, and will be responsible for following the rules outlined. Speakers will have 1 3-minute opportunity to speak regardless of the number of items they wish to address. They need to address the commission, and this time it is to be heard. There will be no back and forth dialogue with the commissioners, and the speakers could file copies of their remarks with the county clerk's office. And the county clerk's office can make that information available to the county commission if requested. So with that, I have one individual who would like to speak. Deanna Hardy, if you want to come up.
Okay. Deanna Hardy Brigham. When Van Jones was in President Obama's administration, he stated that he wanted everyone connected to broadband. The question then was why? It is all really clear now. The government wants to bring China's social credit score to America. Our federal, state, and local governments are spending millions in our tax dollars to get each citizen connected, creating the so-called highway, as our representatives call it, to expedite this freedom-destroying government-controlled broadband. They say you do not have to be connected if you do not want to, but you are forced to pay for it. Many did not want the smart meters on their homes, but it was done anyway, then charging you hundreds of dollars for you to remove the smart meters. These meters are an invasion of privacy as they watch and monitor what appliances, water usage you use throughout your day, then sending you a shaming letter, that's what I call it, to compare you with your neighbor's usage. All that is needed is the total amount of usage each month. Our Fourth Amendment right in the U.S. Constitution states, the rights of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches is being violated. Representatives, county and city attorneys, what are you doing to help secure and protect our rights? I went in person to renew my driver's license and was charged extra for not renewing online. If you think about it, to renew online, you have to purchase a cell phone, pay a monthly subscription, purchase a printer, paper, ink, electricity to run both the phone and printer. The government penalizes you for not renewing online. The government will use whatever method they can to force you to comply to their tyrannical rules and policies. If you use social media, you may have already been censored, silenced for a time, or canceled, depending on what you say or post against the government, their programs, organizations, or agenda. No freedom of speech for you if you disagree with the elite. Your social credit score will deny you your First Amendment to freedom of speech plus other opportunities. Broadband is just another way to get everyone connected so the elite in government can control the masses through the tyrannical social credit scoring. The Box Elder Community of Liberty opposes social credit scoring, the government-controlled broadband, and using our tax dollars to fund it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now, we need to handle our municipal building authority, so we need to take a motion to go into our municipal building authority public meeting.
I'll make a motion that we go into a municipal building authority meeting.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Bingham, second from Commissioner Summers to go into our municipal building authority meeting. All in favor?